Hello, everybody. Alan Slaughterzinski, 321 Sportscast. And, we really have a unique opportunity sometimes to be able to do some really cool stuff. And tonight is one of these occasions where, we talked to Richie Leonard a little bit earlier today, and you'll see his interview coming up a little bit later on in the week. But the recruiting process can be brutal. Not only can it be brutal, it can be frustrating, but it can also be joyous. And the one thing that I think every student athlete, a successful student athlete in the recruiting process has behind them are great parents. And we happen to have Richie Leonard's parents here with us to talk about this process, to talk about Richie, and to talk about some other things as well. I am here with Prashanda and Richard Leonard, and I have to tell you, I've never interviewed parents before when it came to the recruiting process. I'm grateful to have you both here. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
I appreciate it. Now, first, before we begin, everybody knows, and I know everybody knows you, but tell everybody a little bit about yourselves.
My name is Prashanda Leonard. I am actually a Brevard County educator. I'm a teacher at Fairglen Elementary here, and then my husband and I own a business that we do together. So I'm Richie and Ashley's mom, and that's it.
Now, you used to go by Big Rich. Talk a little bit about, look, you know everybody. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm a Brevard County native. Played here, Cocoa High alumni, 89, 90, 91.
Right.
Cocoa High, our basketball team went to a state championship game, and Coach Ebersbach. The Tiger Pride theme in the Cocoa High way, I've been around it for quite some time. My mom actually retired from Cocoa High. She worked in the cafeteria back then, so I've been around that school forever now.
So, it's fair to say that, like a lot of Cocoa High student athletes that leave, go play college ball, some professionally, most of them come back. And it's because of that Tiger Pride, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're a Tiger, giving back to Cocoa High is just a part of you. So at some point, in your life, whether you choose to come back and reside in Brevard County or choose to move on, you're going to come back and give that knowledge to that younger generation. That's just, the Cocoa High way. It's always gone on. Now it's probably more publicized now because we have, bigger athletes that are going to the next level, but that's always something that's gone on. Every coaching staff that's been there, it's loaded with guys that come out and volunteer that played there or been a part of this community forever and a day.
We're here with Prashanda and Richard Leonard. They are the parents of Richie Leonard. Richie is a three-sport star at Cocoa High School, and he's going to make a big decision coming up on July the 5th, and we're going to talk about that decision coming up here in just a couple of minutes. But Prashanda, I know that recently the Cocoa Quarterback Club got started. You guys want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So last year, actually it was during the season, when Coach Schneider started, Coach Schneider does a lot. He sets up the pregame meals. He does everything that the booster club should be doing, Coach Schneider does. He did a great job, but we felt like we wanted to take some of that responsibility off of Coach Schneider because we want him to be able to just go there and coach. We don't want him to worry about how the kids are going to get fed, how the kids are going to get home, if they have Gatorade to drink. We wanted to take some of that responsibility off of him. So my husband came up with, the idea we need to restart the quarterback club. We reached out to a couple parents. And those parents said, sure, we'll come out and help. So my husband is the president. I'm the secretary. Charles Holmes, Keziah's dad, he is the vice president of football operations. Kathy Brown, who is Day-Day's aunt.
Love Miss Brown.
She's the VP of finance. Our merchandise coordinator is Brandy Pruitt, who's actually Day-Day's mom. We have Troy King, who is our parent liaison. We also have Tanya Hoffman, who is our treasurer, and she's Hunter Gaffel's mom. Mm-hmm. And then we have Lorenzo Tony, who his son, Leonard Tony, is another offensive lineman. Did I miss anybody? Is that everybody? And then Coach Schneider is also a part of our club. We've been meeting every Wednesday since April.
March, April.
March, yeah, March, April. Every Wednesday we meet, and we've been putting all these things in place. We're actually having a general membership meeting so that other people, and we're the executive board.
Gotcha.
So, but we're having a general membership meeting tomorrow on June 20th at Cocoa High School from 6 to 7:30. That's where people can come out, learn more about the quarterback club, and we're also having a membership drive. We're offering memberships for $125. The membership includes a ticket to every home game. It includes parking to every home game.
That's important to Cocoa.
Yes, it also includes a program book and your contribution to the Cocoa football team.
And the information is there on the screen for you. And if you want to make a donation or a contribution, feel free.
Yeah, we actually, our website is up and running now, CocoTigersQBClub.com. You can go there and get more information about the quarterback club as well as donate. The schedule's there if you perhaps want to know when we play where. It's on there, and we'll be updating the website frequently, just bringing you new things. We're going to have merchandise also on there. Just everything a quarterback club should be doing, we'll have that model in place doing for Cocoa High School.
And, I think this is a great opportunity for a close-knit community like Cocoa that loves their football. You know what? This is a great opportunity to show your support, and I know 321 Sportscast will certainly do that as well. Okay, so Richie Leonard, he is. I know you're watching you all interact is just great because, I often tell kids. Now I'm only 49, but unfortunately both my parents have passed and way too soon. So I tell kids all the time, do not take mom or dad for granted because you just never know. And I'm living proof of that, trust me. So it's great to watch Richie interact with his parents and the respect that he has and the love that he has for them, because that first word is almost as important as that second word when you're talking about today's kids. Tell us about Richie.
Richie is a great kid. People who don't know Richie or who think they know Richie, they see on the outside, they say, oh, Richie has all these football offers and he was the MVP. They don't know the grind. They don't know the work that Richie puts in. Richie wakes up at 6 in the morning. He goes to workouts before school. Richie goes to school. He goes to Cocoa High School, and he goes to Eastern Florida State College.
Right.
He's a dual enrollment student. Then he comes back, and then he goes to practice, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, and then he might go to the gym after that. Okay? And then he still has homework to do. Even after. And then on the weekend, it might be a recruiting visit we have to go to. There might be a camp that he has to go to. There might be a baseball tournament. His travel ball coach might call my husband and say, hey, Big Rich, we need Richie to come and play in this baseball tournament. And he's there. So, and then my friends or my sister-in-law specifically, she's like, I want him to just have one summer where he just is normal. Well, this is Richie's normal. He's been doing this since he was like 3 years old.
Right.
So this is his normal, and he loves it. But again, he's a great kid.
You were a pretty good athlete, Richard. Tell us before I ask you about Richie. Tell us about your career.
I had a pretty good high school basketball career as well as college. I was fortunate enough to receive a scholarship from Bethune-Cookman College to play Division I basketball there. I went on there to start all 4 years. So I had a pretty successful collegiate career. I got to go to the big dance and play a game in the play-in game in the field of 64. So, all that's exciting. But the experience and the knowledge that I gained from going through the recruiting process myself then is what's, kind of helped us a little bit today.
How proud are you of him? And I know you're very proud of the man he is off the field, but tell me, a 3-sport star is rare today. It is rare to see it anymore because kids just concentrate and focus on one sport. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, it was a family decision. We did our research, and we honestly weren't always all for Richie playing all three sports. It became a age where it became very difficult as a family to do it. And also our daughter, is there as well. She's a little older, but, with both of them being, into sports so heavy, it became super hard. And just reaching out and speaking to other people, we were advised that it's not always good to have them play multiple sports. Some people say, you need to focus on one. But for us and for Richie, it just worked better with him, participating in all three sports. And now it's been probably the biggest benefit to his athletic career as an offensive lineman.
I'm gonna ask you to put your mom hat on here. So, Mom, tell us what is it the one thing you'd like to see Richie do better?
The one thing that I would like to see Richie do better is when I say take out the trash, he jumps to take out the trash. Not me have to say, didn't I tell you to take the trash out? And then he has to, I have to ask him again. So if he just jumps, boom, and say, yes, I'll come and take the trash out right then. If he could do that, he would be amazing.
I tell you, I'm 49 years old and I still have that problem. I just can't, So Richie, you sound all right. How proud are you of the fact that he's as impressive off the court and field as he is on it?
I am extremely proud. And I know I keep saying over and over again, but he is really an amazing kid. I look at all the other things in his life that he could be doing, and I look at what he is doing. He is amazing. We don't have discipline problems with Richie.
Right.
We don't, if I look at Edline, well, they've changed it now to Focus.
Right.
So I look at Focus and I say, did you turn this in or did you not turn this in? And he's like, oh, Mom, it's right here. Or, there's no, I don't have any issues.
Trust
with
is perfect.
him.
It's amazing.
If he tells me, Mom, I'm going to the movies, he'll text me when he gets there. And then he'll text me when he's getting ready to leave. If he tells me he's going to his friend's house, I know that that's where he is and he's doing what he says he's doing.
But you guys, and I, meeting you in person, the thing that struck me was that you remind me, it's, a lot, and I don't mean to be critical when I say this. Some parents today aren't smarter than their children anymore. And I mean that because they don't keep up with the times. They don't, technologically speaking, or maybe not even that, but they just, for whatever reason, want to block certain things out. The both of you seem to be very in tune and on top of everything that's going on.
Well, that's a tribute to anybody who knows me, and I'm sure knows her, to say the same thing. I was a nerd in high school. Not only did I play sports, I was pretty good student academically as well, and the same for her. So the one thing that's been a constant that you want to see Mom get upset and Dad get upset about, it's academics.
Right. Well, I just think that that's fantastic because, and I don't mean to say this over and over again. It's not a mantra for us. I mean, it's not like something it's not our company motto. It is really what we believe here at 321 Sportscast. We really believe in the student part of the student athlete.
Exactly.
If we didn't, we wouldn't put GPAs on every profile we do.
Exactly.
So, that's why it's important to us. Now, I think the elephant in the room, as I said with Richie, is the recruiting process.
Yes.
Richard, I just want to say for what I think it has become today, I think it's become a travesty in the way it's handled today by coaches and administrators on both ends, at the high school level and at the college level. What have you found? Because Richie's done it right. If you followed Richie on social media, there's never a tweet too soon. There's never a statement too soon. It's the facts and the facts only. What's been your take through all of this?
Well, the one thing I've learned about it in this day and era, it's a billion-dollar business.
Yeah.
So what seems to be just an offer to this kid, on the back end of that, there's a whole staff back there working, their time, their efforts, their energy is being put into that part of the recruitment process. So, we've pretty much focused on just doing it the right way, because if you don't, you'll get pulled, you'll get tugged, you'll get influenced in ways that you probably normally wouldn't. But, if you focus on what's important, and that's academics and making sure that, he's in a place where he's going to be comfortable, then, you can kind of weed out a lot of the outside interference.
I'm going to ask you this question this way, and specifically this way. So, I'm going to say, Mr. Leonard, is there ever a time you had to have a come to Jesus meeting with somebody in terms of the recruiting process?
There have been many a times where I might have wanted to
Right.
actually call that meeting, but I'll get together with her and we'll talk about it and be like, can you believe that this went on, or can you
Right.
believe that happened? And it's
Tough.
It's tough, and I will give all the colleges that have recruited him credit. I will give them credit. They've done an excellent job in the recruitment process. The 7 schools that he's narrowed it down all have been class act universities, class act coaches, class act recruiters.
If there was one thing about this process you would like to see changed, what would it be?
Just I would say the economic impact.
Yeah.
I would like to see that changed, and it gets back to the actual recruiting of the kid, because
Right.
now and they'll tell you now it's about what they have, what this university has to offer, the glim and the glory and the glitz. They're not showing you what it's like after a loss on that campus,
Right.
or some crazy fan coming after your kid because you lost a football game. So I like to see that part, that socioeconomic part of the recruiting process, be taken out. I don't know, maybe the NCAA can kind of come in and level everything off amongst everybody, because it's all about resources in the recruitment game, and
Yeah.
the teams that have the most resources, they're going to get the 5, the 4, the 3 stars. They are. That's just the way that game's being played now.
Well, I really appreciate your insight on that, because it confirms everything that I've always thought. I don't have a child on the inside, and as a guy in the media, a lot of times they keep you at arm's length, and I don't blame them. And quite honestly, personally, I try to stay at arm's length, because you don't ever want to appear as if you're trying to do this, that, or that for a reason. What will happen, and you just got to make sure you call it as you see it. And so but I agree 100% with what you're saying, because that seems to be the case with everybody.
Well, the thing that I would like to see change, a couple things. Social media is a huge factor in
Yes.
recruitment. It's a huge factor. So the schools that have larger fan base, they may go on and like a kid's tweets. That kid may have more likes because that school has a larger fan base,
Right.
than another school does. And the other thing that I would like to see change is, I think that they should contact their recruits by phone after school hours, because Richie sits in his classes all day and his phone is buzzing. Richie's phone is buzzing from morning to night.
That's not cool.
Right.
I mean, it's just not. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You would think that's a common sense rule, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you glad it's coming to an end?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's been fun.
It's been fun,
but-
and just seeing him go through the process has been even more fun. But I think at this point, and this is where a lot of kids make that mistake, Alan. It's a fine line there. You get caught up in that recruiting game, and you forget about your craft.
Right.
So that's a lot of the reason why he's decided, to go ahead and commit and get it out of the way now, so that he can refocus. Because after you get those offers and after you commit, there's still an elephant in the room. You still got to go to that college and play.
Right. You got to perform.
Right.
You got to perform.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids forget about that and just think about, well, once I get there, I'll take care of that. And then now you're behind. Now you're going to get red-shirted, and now you got to, fight with the other people in the same position as you. When if you go in there ready, you get in there early, and you do your thing, you hit the field earlier. His other teammate or other schoolmate, Chauncey, graduated early,
Right.
and enrolled early. and we're both big fans of early enrollment. Just from a academic standpoint, not even the athletic benefits of it. From an academic standpoint, he's going to be able to get in there and get his degree early, and be able to get in there and have a whole semester to get used to, being in this college, in this type setting on this campus, without having the whole football season, pulling and toiling at it.
I think this has been great, and I got to ask this question: is there a school that you'd be willing to share with us? Now, Richie's going to make his own decision. Is there a school you'd be willing to share with us that, I don't know, you like more than another?
I like whatever school Richie likes.
I love that politically correct answer. Richard?
The school I like is the one that's going to take him on January 6th out of my house. But I will give you all this. Mom is a huge fan. I am a huge Florida State fan. So, that's about all I can give you.
I seem to have this. I don't know. I got a college in my head. This is fun. This is fun for me watching. I got a college in my head. I think he's going to pick. I mean, this is crazy how much fun we have doing this. I can't begin to tell you. I did this a couple of years ago. I can't remember who it was for, but I was way off base. I can't remember. It was the running back for Palm Bay, and I apologize. But he ended up picking a Big Ten school, and it couldn't be any further away from Florida than he ended up going. In fact, the day he calls me up, he says, "Mr. Allen, I need a favor." I said, "Well, what is that?" He goes, "I can't find a hat." It was Purdue. He went to Purdue. He said, "I can't find a Purdue hat anywhere." I had to go have a Purdue hat made at the mall. And the lady says, "Well, I can't make it because it's trademarked." I said, "Put a P on a yellow hat."
Right.
Right. Well, I do his commitment party again, like we said, is July 5th.
Yep.
It's at 5:00 at Jabbers. All are welcome. The only thing that we ask is that you wear a college shirt of where you would like him to go.
There you go. I know where I'd like him to go. I think I'm gonna have a shirt made special. The shirt I'm gonna have is the college shirt where I want him to go, and on the back where I think he's going to go. All right, so that's how I'm going to do it.
That'll be good.
Final thoughts, Richard?
Yeah, well, for him, he's going into his senior year, and as you mentioned earlier, he's been to three for three. He's been to 3 state championship games. He was only fortunate enough to win the first one his freshman year, and the other 2, we came up a little short. So,
right.
I know Richie, Keziah, Marquise, CJ, all the guys.
Hold on for just a second. I'm sorry. You come on in, Coach. Okay. Yeah, you can come on in and have a seat. All right, good. I'm sorry.
All the guys are, working hard to get back and finish off on a good note with that 4th state championship appearance.
I know it would be great for them. How cool would it be for you to see them get back? But this time we got to go to Daytona.
Yeah, it's been really great. My birthday, fortunately, has fallen on that day for the past 3 years. So we've had a huge tailgate party over there at the Citrus Bowl.
I'm coming.
So this year we're going to be in Daytona, which is
but that ain't
not bad for us because
right.
both of us are Bethune.
Right, I was going to say that's good for you.
So
right?
yeah, it's going to be great. So
well, speaking of birthdays, that day is also Miss Prashanda's birthday. So come correct on that day as well. July 5th, I'm speaking of, the day that Richie makes his decision as to which one of the 7 schools. And again, I'll just recap them. They're there on the screen. UCF, UF, FSU, UM, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Georgia Tech. Now, your birthday, what does it mean to you that he told me the story that he told you a couple of years ago he was going to make this announcement on his birthday, but you thought he forgot about that.
I thought, actually, we thought that he forgot. And then after Richie told me that he was going to commit on my birthday, my husband came out with the surprise that he was going to take me to New Orleans for my birthday. So he said Richie's announcement trumps my New Orleans trip for my birthday, but it's fine. But it is very special. Like, it means a lot to me. He's my baby. And anybody who knows me knows that Richie's my baby. So it's very special. It means a lot.
You know, it's great because when we've handed them the various plaques throughout the years, and again, Richie is just a remarkable student athlete. He's a remarkable young man, and Richie doesn't get to become a remarkable young man without these two people sitting next to me. Mr. Richard and Prashanda Leonard, thank you both so much for taking time out here today to come and speak with us on 321 Sportscast about recruiting, about your experience with it, about the Cocoa Quarterback Club, and more importantly, about his big day. So thank you both very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us, Adam.
No problem. For Richard and Prashanda, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski for 321 Sportscast. Hello, everybody. Alan Slaughter-Zinski, 321 Sportscast. And this is a special interview. If you've been following along with 321 Sportscast, you'll notice that we do profile all kinds of great athletes, student athletes, I always say, in this area. And one sitting to my left here, he is, when you think about doing it the right way, both first off the field, then on the field, this gentleman to my left certainly fits what we at 321 Sportscast consider to be a student athlete. He is the three-sport star from Cocoa High School. He is Richie Leonard. And Richie, welcome to the 321 Sportscast studio set. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well. And I got to, I want to ask that question again. I want to say, Richie, how you doing? And I want to look at you and go, how you really doing? Because, in a little over a week here, you got a huge decision to make, which we'll talk about, because the elephant in the room is the 7 schools that you narrowed down a couple of weeks ago. But, we'll talk about that in the recruiting process. And I'm even going to talk to your parents because, as much as you've gone through this, your parents have gone through this, and I'm interested to hear both sides of the equation. But before we get to that, let's go back. I remember interviewing you a couple of years ago, and I thought to myself, we have 2-3 more years with Richie Leonard, and it's over. Yeah. Your senior season coming up already. Take me through your emotions as you get set to enter into your final year.
There are a lot of emotions going into my senior year. It's like you said, it went by pretty fast, and it started as a freshman. Coming in playing football my freshman year, and playing basketball and baseball my 7th and 8th grade year, and for it to be coming to an end so fast is pretty interesting.
Now you're an excellent student, and you're a 3-sport star. Take me through a Richie Leonard day. In other words, you get up, you go to school. After that school is over, practice, tell me how you navigate through playing 3 sports and being successful. Richie was the offensive MVP for the football team. Think about that, okay? On the Cocoa Tigers, the offensive MVP right here. He was the baseball MVP for the baseball team. And, of course, the basketball team, you ask Coach Fuzzy about him, and the first word that comes to mind is leader, captain, Richie Leonard, the man in the locker room, the man on the floor. Take us through a day, man.
Throughout the school year, I'm a pretty busy person, so time management is important. But I probably don't have a day off after school until the end of the school year, to the last week or 2 of school, because from August to December, I'm playing football after school every day. From December to February, playing basketball after school every single day, and from about February till May, I'm playing baseball, and then right back into spring football. So it's a
nonstop
never-ending cycle. Yeah.
And then you throw in the recruiting on top of that. And look, you've got some great parents. Tell me how big a part they play in helping you manage that time, because I imagine that having to deal with the recruiting and making sure that you stay focused. I mean, look, we all need somebody, and like I said, you got 2 great parents. How do they help you?
My parents help me tremendously. They keep me on track, stay on top of me, making sure I'm handling my business in the classroom, on the field and off the field. So they're definitely a huge help. Let's
talk about the classroom a little bit. Tell me a little bit about your studies, what you like to study, what do you want to study in the future?
I want to study communications in college.
Okay, good. And what type of communications, or just communications in general?
Just communications in general.
Gotcha. And as far as in school right now, what are some of the topics, some of the subjects you like to, you bear down on pretty good?
I love science. That's probably my favorite subject right now, and I like to write too.
Well, that makes sense. As an offensive lineman, a captain, a guy that plays 3 sports, that has to know these playbooks the way you have to know them. Science, I find that a lot with football players. So, look, I played football. Don't tell us that we're dumb jocks, because we're not. I'm here to tell you right now We're very analytical people, and science seems to be a favorite subject for a lot of football players, and especially, believe it or not, offensive linemen as well, math and science. So, all right, Richie, we're going to get to the recruiting process, but I want to go back and reflect on your career on the football field. Look, you have been no other place other than state championships since you arrived at Cocoa High School. Take me through, take me through that. How 2 different coaches, 3 state championships. Let's relive that a little bit.
Coming in my freshman year, I was lucky and blessed enough to be able to come into a great program that had already been in so many state championships. So being able to just, jump in and ride that wave and be able to help contribute eventually to getting into those state championship games it's a real blessing.
Now, you get there, and John Wilkinson is the coach, and Coach Wilkes and Coach Schneider, Coach Wilkes and Coach Schneider they're 2 different coaches, obviously, under 2 different systems, and you couldn't have a bigger contrast in the way that Coach Wilkinson runs a team and an offense and the way that Coach Schneider does it, which I think is a tremendous testament to both of them. Talk about playing for Coach Wilkins.
Coach Wilkes is a great coach. He's a real downhill football kind of guy, a real put your hand in the dirt, come off the ball, and beat the guy in front of you kind of coach. And it was a real good experience getting able to play for a guy like Coach Wilkes.
Were you shocked when he left?
I was a little bit. It kind of took us by surprise. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you and your family, and that's what Coach Wilkinson did. So I can't be mad. I got to respect that decision.
Absolutely love that answer. We're here with Richie Leonard, 3-sport star for Cocoa High School. And, of course, Richie is going to make a big decision coming up here in a couple of weeks. 7 schools, 4 in the state of Florida, 3 outside of the state of Florida, and we'll tell you who they are coming up. Then Coach Ryan Schneider comes in. Now, as an offensive lineman under Coach Wilkes, you are running the ball nearly 70% of the time. It's ground and pound and play defense. Ryan Schneider comes in and completely flips the script. He moves Willie Gaines outside, features Keziah Holmes in the backfield, but he features the quarterback, DJ Arroyo. You guys break all kinds of passing records, and you go from running the ball nearly 70% of the time to putting it in the air 70% of the time. So you probably have to change your game a little bit because you're pass blocking a lot more than you're run blocking. Take me through that transition.
It was a great experience being able to play for both coaches, 2 different types, because it makes me not one-dimensional as offensive lineman.
Exactly.
It makes me be able to put my hand in there and come off the ball, like I said, and be able to drop back and protect the quarterback. So it's nice to be able to have done both before I head into the next level.
And you get a playbook from Ryan Schneider that I'm sure is similar to a lot of playbooks you'll see at the college level wherever you go. Talk a little bit about that, learning his offense.
Coach Schneider, he coached at the college level, so just a lot of the wording he uses and the language that he says is a lot of next level stuff. So being able to get in and experience that type of stuff and be around, pro style, college style offenses is going to do wonders for all of us heading into the next level.
Watching you play basketball, you would think that you look and you would think that you're a guy that gets in there and does nothing but rebound. That's not the case with Richie. Richie, 6 points, 4 boards, 4 assists a game, or the other way around, 4.6 boards. Regardless, a well-rounded basketball player. The 4 assist thing is the thing I really like. Talk about your basketball game.
I've played basketball pretty much my whole life. It was the first sport I ever played. My dad was a college basketball player, so it was kind of in my blood. He always made sure I kept playing basketball, and I love the game. It's a fun game to play, and it's something I enjoy. And he always made sure that I played the game the right way. I'm not just a scorer. I'm not just a rebounder. I'm not just a passer. Be able to do everything. So,
and that you do. And I think as great as it was to get to a state championship 3 straight times with the football team, what you guys did with your basketball team this past year, no, you didn't win a state championship, but arguably, Richie, it had to be one of the more special moments of your athletic career at Cocoa. You win 8 regular season games. People are talking. These guys aren't any good. It's a mistake to hire Fuzzy. But anybody that knows Coach Fuzzy and Pop knew that was an idiotic statement to make. But then you get to the playoffs, and all of a sudden, it all clicks. It comes together, and you guys are nearly playing for the state championship. Talk about what changed, and talk about this team.
The more I think back on that team, I really realize how special what we did was, you know, and being able to play for somebody like Coach Fuzzy and Coach Pop, guys that have put guys into the next level, major Division I basketball players, and you know, just real gurus of the game. It was a great experience. But yeah, making that playoff run, it shows you that you know, you just got to be good at the right time.
Yeah.
You got to hit your stride and when it's right. And like you said, we went on that playoff run and made it to the regional championship, and yeah, it was just a great experience to be a part of.
It was definitely fun to watch. It was one of the more enjoyable moments of my career covering Brevard County sports, and so baseball. So you don't even have time to really bask in the success of that. You move right to the diamond. Tell us about your baseball game. What position do you play? Tell us.
I play first and third, and I pitch a little bit on the baseball team.
So you play third, huh?
Yes, sir.
Richie on the hot corner. I like it. All right. So you like swinging a big stick? Where are you batting in the lineup?
4-hole.
Of course he is, right? Where else would he be batting there? Now, I understand, too, that some of these schools out there love the way you play the game of baseball, and even said that you could play baseball in college if you wanted to. That's got to make you feel pretty good, huh?
Yeah, definitely. It makes me feel good because they recognize I'm not just an offensive lineman. You know, they see that I'm an athlete and can do more than one thing.
Yeah, we're here with Richie Leonard, and great young man, great student athlete. You know, Richie is kind of when you know, I was telling his parents that when you talk to people about Richie Leonard and you ask them to describe him, captain obviously comes up. You see he's carrying the American flag on the screen behind me. But the thing, leader, Coach, you know, Coach Fuzzy told me that he's never coached, and this is quite a statement, that he's never coached a young man that's as good of a leader as you are. In the locker room, on the floor. You know, when I ask what guy is the guy that makes sure everything's in check, who's the coach on the floor, who's the coach in the locker room, and inevitably the answer is always Richie Leonard. So that's good stuff. All right, Richie, a lot of people are watching this interview. They love the feel-good stuff part of it. But a lot of people are watching this because they want to find out where you're going to go to school. Any chance you'll tell us today?
Not yet.
Just had to ask that question. All right, there are 7 schools, 4 in Florida, UCF, Florida State, and Miami. And then you got Kentucky, Tennessee, and Georgia Tech out of the state of Florida. Tell us what you like about the 4 schools in Florida.
You know, growing up a kid in Florida, you always watch those 4 schools. You know, you're always rooting for them. Sometimes you root for one more than the other, or your parents root for one more than the other. So
Who'd you root for more?
I was kind of neutral going through.
Oh, my God. You're pretty good at this already.
Growing up, I wasn't a big I wasn't too big into college football. You know, I was a big college basketball fan.
I got you.
Stuff like that.
So it had to be Gators then, right? I mean, they were the national champion. No?
Not necessarily.
Okay, I got you.
Whoever was the best that year, that's who I wanted to win.
I got you.
Represent the state.
So I know you had an opportunity to get close to these programs. What'd you like about them?
You know, I like some of the relationships I have with the coaches. You know, they're all genuinely good people, and I know that either any of the 7 schools I choose, I'm going into a good situation. You know, I'm always, you know, coming into a free degree. So free college.
I absolutely love that. And so the 3 schools out of state, I want to talk about just one specifically. We had talked about this before, and that's Georgia Tech. You know, when you went on your visit to Georgia Tech, I noticed on Twitter, not just from you, but from the guys that you went on the visit with up there from other schools, there really seemed to be a buzz nationally about what's happening at Georgia Tech, about the visit. In fact, I didn't see any other buzz about any other school like there was about Georgia Tech. Tell us what's going on up there that's so special.
You know, there's a whole new coaching staff at Georgia Tech, you know, a whole new culture that they're trying to bring back to Atlanta, to the city. And, you know, they just got a good vibe, a good buzz going on around the program.
What specifically, though, makes, you know, with the new, what are they doing differently that maybe you didn't see someplace else?
Well, they got away from their traditional, you know, wing T style of offense. You know, they're dropping back, throwing the ball a lot more. So that's good to see it because they were pretty successful over time with that wing T. So being able to see what they'll do with different types of styles of offense will be interesting to see.
You like Coach Collins?
Yeah, Coach Collins is a great dude.
Love the smile on his face. I don't know if it gives us any insight, but I'll tell you, I definitely like the smile on Richie's face when I ask him about Coach Collins. All right. I think it's magnificent what you're doing, and that is the announcement is going to be made July the 5th at Jabbers in Cocoa. And please come on out that day, and we're going to talk to Richie's parents here in a minute about the announcement and about how you can help the newly founded Cocoa Quarterback Club as well. So we want to give you information on that. So please make sure you come out and watch this young man sign his national letter of intent. How important it is for you. Well, actually, you're going to commit that day. How important is it for you to get this out of the way now?
It's very important. It was a decision I was, wrestling with for a while, and it can get pretty stressful. So I decided it'd be best to go ahead and get it out the way before my senior season starts, so I can just focus on finishing up school and trying to win a state championship in football.
Especially with all that you do, because you're going to keep playing basketball, right?
I won't be able to next year.
No, you won't.
Yeah.
Right, I got you. Okay. All right, well, I get it, but you're still going to have a lot to do, and a lot, yeah. So, listen, that's a smart decision. Waiting for that February period, as so many student athletes do, that's a lot of stress that you carry on your shoulders throughout the course of a football season. And I like the fact that, we spoke to Keziah Holmes, and he appears to be heading and following in your footsteps to maybe do the same thing. I don't know. We'll wait. We'll see. But even more special than that is you're doing this on your mother's birthday. And I think that is the coolest thing out of anything that we have discussed, because there is no relationship like a son's relationship with his mother. I'm going to tell you, I miss mine. I'll tell you that right now. And for you to be able to do this, what does it mean to you?
It means a lot. My mom's the most important woman in my life, so she means a lot to me. So doing this on her birthday is something that I feel good about. Being able to make such a huge decision that involves all of us it's a pretty special thing to me.
Now, you told her you were going to do this a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, I did. I told her that if I had the opportunity to, I'd commit on her birthday, and I told her that in 8th or 9th grade, and I think she forgot about it. So when I told her I was going to do it, she it put a big smile on her face.
Now, it's great that you're doing it on Mom's birthday, and we're going to talk to Mom and Dad coming up here. But your dad, man, he's a pretty cool dude too.
Yeah, he definitely is. All
right, so I guess how do I ask this question here? Have you? And obviously you don't have to tell us, but have you thrown out? Are all 7 schools still in play?
As of right now, absolutely.
All 7 schools are still in play. So there they are on the screen again, and I got it. Is there? Nah, you'll wait till July 5th. I'm not even going to pry. We'll be there live streaming the event as Richie Leonard I keep saying signs, commits. When do you sign? In that February?
December. Yeah.
December, okay. And are you early enrollee?
Yes, sir.
There you go. Look at that. Early enrollee. Ask Mom how she feels about that, too. Richie, as we wrap up here, is there one thing you want everybody to know, or one thing you want to say to everybody out there about your last 3 years at Cocoa and the community? What would you like to tell everybody?
Deciding to go to Cocoa High was honestly the best decision I've made in my life so far, because I was zoned for Space Coast High School, so I was coming out of elementary school. I was juggling with that decision, but my dad graduated from Cocoa, and my sister ended up coming and graduating from Cocoa too, and deciding to be a Tiger was the best decision I could have made.
We're going to have plenty of time to preview the upcoming 2019 Cocoa Tigers, and you'll see Week 1 and Week 2 right here on 321 Sportscast. We will be traveling to Atlanta for the Freedom Bowl with the Cocoa Tigers. And when we make that trip, will Richie Leonard be just miles away from where he's going to school? I don't know. You'll find out on July the 5th right here on 321 Sportscast. Richie, thank you so much for spending some time with us here today.
Thanks for having me.
For Richie Leonard, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski for 321 Sportscast.